So, the second edition of the Women's Premier League is set to begin from February 23rd. And as we discussed about Mumbai Indians and then the Delhi Capitals, now it's time to discuss about the Royal Challengers Bangalore, the Smriti Mandhana led side. They didn't really have the best of the tournaments last season in the inaugural edition, and now they will be hoping in some change of their fortunes. And I have Sabyasachi with me. And what do you think, Sabyasachi? Will there be any change in fortunes for the RCB this time?
See, last time around, RCB had a very strong team. If you have the likes of Ellis Perry, Heather Knight, and Sophie Devine in your team, that means that you have a very strong lineup. Plus, you had a Megan Schuth, who knows what it feels like to be on top of the rankings. So it was very surprising to see RCB losing 5 matches in a row and then crashing out. So hopefully they will be able to turn their fortunes around this time, as they have also picked some very useful players in the auction in the form of um, in the form of Georgia Wareham, then Kate Cross and all. So I'm expecting they will perform better than last year.
And as you were talking about big players, the captain herself, Smriti Mandhana, she really felt the heat of captaincy last year. Despite being an amazing player for her Indian side, she didn't really turn up that well when it came to the Women's Premier League. So what do you think? Will she be able to perform better in this time and truly lead the team from the front in order for them to have a better tournament and qualify for the playoffs?
See, there's no doubt about Smriti Mandhana. She's a class act. She has been the torchbearer of the Indian women's cricket for the last 7 years. So one would expect that Mandhana will play better than how she did last season. If you remember, last season she failed to score a single half century and she averaged a mere 19 last season. So that is very un-Smriti Mandhana like. So we'll be hoping that she will perform better this season, because we all know how dangerous she can be with the bat at the top of the order, and she has done it plenty of times for the Indian team in the women's 100 and in various other leagues. So I'm expecting that she will come out firing on all cylinders for RCB this season.
And I think there will definitely be an concern when it comes to their fast bowling. There will be over dependence on Elise Perry with not a lot of other pacers that have that amount of experience. And Heather Knight, Megan Schuth's absence will also gonna hurt them. And who do you think can actually come in as a replacement and could actually fill in the shoes that Megan Schuth?
See, Megan Schuth is a kind of a bowler who will give you wickets for sure. But last season she didn't have the best of outings, and she also had to sit out for a couple of games if I am not mistaken. So this season they don't have Schuth, but then again they roped in someone like Kate Cross, who has shown time and again in the ODI format that she can do well, but it remains to be seen how she does in T20Is. Also, after Heather Knight got pulled out of the WPL because of the international commitments, they roped in someone like a Narayan de Clark, South Africa's, and she performed fairly well in the series against Australia. So Clark is someone who can still do well, but she's not an out and out fast bowler like Schuth was. So from that perspective, I feel that RCB lack a little less firepower, and Ellis Perry is also someone who can wreak havoc in the oppositions with his pace. But again, she has had her issues with the back, and she doesn't quite bowl as regularly as she used to 5 years ago. So in the fast bowling department, RCB are a bit here and there. So I'm hoping they can do well this season.
And now let's talk about some young talented Indian prospects, because Women's Premier League is also about what kind of players we get from the Indian side of things, right? So I think Shriyanka Patil, she also made a debut for India last season, and she had a great season for the Royal Challengers Bangalore as well. And by the way, Sabyasachi also interviewed Shriyanka Patil. You can definitely go and check it out on India Today's website. And now let's talk about Shriyanka Patil. She had a great season last year, and I think should she be carrying any kind of pressure on her to perform that well again? Because of course I think there will be that in order to maintain that consistency and everything. Do you think she'll be able to do that?
See, last year I remember Ellis Perry saying that she has seen very players of Shriyanka's age having that kind of an attitude on the field, and she said it after she scored some 31 runs against the Mumbai Indians on her WPL debut, the kind of shots she played, the kind of rams she played on the back V, it showed that she is fearless. She's someone who is fearless and she won't stop experimenting on her game, especially when it's come to batting and both bowling. And in the last 10 months, the kind of growth she has shown, she broke into the Indian women's emerging team. Then she became the first Indian cricketer to play in the WPL, and then she broke into the India A team in the series against England, and then came the India call-up. And even she has won a player of the match against England at the DY Patel Stadium. So she's very aware. Has developed her game so much in the last 12 months that compared to last year, there will be more responsibility on her. Last year, she was allowed to play freely. This year, she will be one of the main spinners for RCB. And mind you, she's no mug with the bat also. Although she hasn't done a lot with the bat since the last WPL, but she has developed on her batting, and personally, I would like to see her bat at number 7 or even higher, because she has plenty of talent with the bat.
And that reminds me, during an international match, I think it was Elise Perry's 300th international match, when she hit actually Shriyanka Patil, her RCB teammate, for a 6. And she actually, the kind of attitude she showed, she took it on herself. She, despite getting a lot of backlash for that, for being hit for a 6 on the very last ball of the match, Shriyanka Patil took it on a very light note. And she also had a fangirl moment, where she talked about on Twitter about it as well. And I think having such kind of players who have such positive mindset despite being getting hit or something, I think we would love to have more such young talented prospects in the Indian cricket setup. And yeah, that's about it for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. They had an upsetting of a season last year, but they will be hoping to come back stronger this time. This is me, Diya Kakkar, signing off with Sabri Sachin.